Let's speak to Ben Southwood from the free market think tank, the Adam Smith Institute. He's there in central London for us. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
A shareholder spring, is that what we're seeing?
Maybe. I don't think we'll see that many pay deals actually rejected. Simply just isn't the case that shareholders want to exercise their control in this way. The main way they exercise their control is withdrawing money from firms they think are badly managed. The difference between voting and withdrawing money is that withdrawing money happens instantly and you have no more exposure to a firm you think is doing the wrong job.
Do you understand why shareholders were so angry today, given BP's recent performance and the pay offer that was on the table here?
Absolutely, but having said that, the board's explanation is reasonably good too. When we have low growth, we think the government has had some role in that growth, but we don't think that George Osborne is to blame for every global disaster. We generally suggest that we should look at the things he has actually changed and look at the results they have had. So if you're in a very difficult climate, it might be that Bob Dudley has added, relative to him not being at the firm, has added $1 billion to the firm value. I think it's very hard to make that judgment, and I think that the board probably has a good point too.
What about the system here? Those shareholders have voted today. They obviously felt quite strongly about the issue, but actually their vote doesn't potentially make any difference at all, does it?
Well, the real way, as I said, that they exercise control is by taking their money out of the firm.
But some won't do that, clearly, will they? I mean, in practice, that probably won't happen to in a large number of cases.
I mean, that's not really true. When firms manage themselves badly and do bad things, their share price drops a lot. Effectively, that's registering a huge outflow of capital from the firm, and that capital is going to other firms. So firms get very, very rigidly disciplined when they manage themselves badly.
On the wider point, the Institute of Directors today, who are obviously troubled, it would seem, by some of the things that are happening, are saying that if bigger companies don't look at all this again, they're fearful that some sort of greater government regulation will come in this area. Is that something you would fear as well?
Well, I have great respect for the IOD's perspective, but I think that what we should be looking at is, do CEOs in general create the sort of value that justifies giant pay packets that they get? And in practice, they do. If you look at when Steve Jobs died, Apple's value dropped by 5%, $18 billion he was creating. And you can look at other examples, like Angela Arendt's leaving Burberry, losing £500 million off their value. CEOs create huge amounts of value. In an increasingly globalized, complex world with bigger and bigger firms, having the right person at the head making the key decisions is so important that actually they can be worth this much. So I don't think that regulation is going to come in and restrict this, because I think people are going to be aware that actually CEOs make a huge difference.
OK. Thanks very much for coming on. Ben Southwood there from the Adam Smith Institute. The entertainer role